Something interesting has been happening with Raleigh, North Carolina lately, and it's not what most people expected. People aren't just rushing to the biggest cities anymore. They're slowing down, comparing options across North Carolina, like Charlotte, Wilmington, Asheville, and then Raleigh just keeps showing up on the list. Not always first, but the more people look at it, the more it starts making sense. Today, we're breaking down why Raleigh and the suburbs surrounding it are quietly becoming one of the most chosen places to live in the Southeast. We'll talk about some things you probably already know, and a few things most people don't even talk about. Stick around to the end because a couple of these reasons might surprise you. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. For a long time, Raleigh was easy to underestimate. People thought of it as a business and government town, or maybe even a college town, or just somewhere you pass through on the way to the beach or to the mountains. But what's happened here over the last decade is something very different. Raleigh didn't just explode overnight the way some cities did. Instead, it grew layer by layer. The city expanded, and at the same time, the towns around it started developing their own identity and energy. That's how the triangle really came into its own. Today, Raleigh isn't just one city, it's a connected region made up of places like Cary, Apex, Holly Springs, Wake Forest, Fuquay-Varina, Clayton, Wendell, Knightdale, and Rolesville. Each one has its own personality, its own downtown areas, and its own lifestyle. One night, you might be grabbing dinner in downtown Raleigh. The next day, you're walking around downtown Cary Park, which has become one of the most talked about gathering spots in the state. Or maybe you're at Knightdale Station Park and having a bite at Prime Barbecue, now known for one of the best barbecue places on the East Coast. Or you're just walking through Wendell Falls. That structure changes how the region actually feels to live in. Raleigh today isn't trying to compete with Charlotte or Atlanta for flash. It's becoming something different. A city with momentum, but also structure. And once people realize they're not looking at the Raleigh they remember from 10 or 15 years ago, the conversation about moving here starts to shift pretty quickly. One of the biggest reasons Raleigh keeps getting chosen is something people don't fully appreciate until they spend time here. You're not forced into one version of life. Some cities make you choose right away. You either live in the dense urban part of town, or you move so far out of the suburbs and give up the energy of the city. Raleigh gives you a mix of both, which we love. And you can live close to downtown and still have neighborhoods with trees, space, and quiet streets. Or you can move 15 to 20 minutes outside the city into places like Rolesville, Clayton, Fuquay-Varina, or Wendell, and still stay connected to everything happening in the region. What's interesting is how many people mix those lifestyles together. Dinner downtown on a Friday night, a backyard barbecue on a Saturday, maybe hiking at Umstead State Park, or spending a day at Jordan Lake on the weekend. That flexibility is a big part of why people settle in here long term, and we love it. And if you're thinking about relocating, my family understands that process firsthand. We actually moved here 8 years ago from Southern California, sight unseen. We didn't know the neighborhoods, we didn't know the commute patterns, we learned a lot along the way. And that's exactly why we help people relocating to the Triangle every day. If you're considering a move, make sure you grab our free buyer and seller relocation guide in the description box below to help make your move frictionless. It's packed with a lot of things we wish we had known before moving here, and it can help you avoid a lot of the common mistakes people make when relocating. Another reason Raleigh keeps gaining attention right now is the amount of development happening across the region between 2025 and 2026. And it's not just the housing, it's the entire lifestyle districts being built out. One project a lot of people are starting to talk about is the Collective. Developments like this are designed to bring people together. Developments like this are designed to bring together restaurants, retail, community spaces, and entertainment in a way Raleigh hasn't always had in the past. Instead of driving from place to place all night, these areas create environments where you can spend an entire evening walking around, grabbing dinner, meeting friends, and enjoying the atmosphere. And it's not just the collective. Downtown Raleigh continues adding new restaurants and rooftop spaces like Peregrine at the Thousand Social District, Urban Oak on the rooftop in downtown, and another one that we're looking forward to is Big Cat in Oakwood in the spring or summer of this year. Cary has completely transformed its downtown area with the downtown Cary Park District. This has quickly become one of the most active public spaces anywhere in the Triangle. And our daughter, Lorena, absolutely loves the huge slides and the playground area. And this playground area is not like any normal playground. You have to see it. New restaurant groups and boutique concepts keep choosing Raleigh because the population growth supports it. Over the last year alone, we've seen new restaurants, breweries, coffee shops, and retail concepts open across Raleigh, Cary, Apex, and Wake Forest. What's really happening is the region is building the lifestyle infrastructure that turns a city from simply growing into a place people genuinely love living. Of course, another big reason Raleigh keeps showing up on relocation lists is the job market. The Triangle has quietly built one of the most stable economic ecosystems in the country. Right in the middle of the region, you have the Research Triangle Park, often called the RTP, which is being touted as a Silicon Valley of the East Coast. It sits between Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, and it's one of the largest research parks in the world. Major companies like IBM, Cisco, Lenovo, Biogen, and Fidelity have major operations here, along with hundreds of biotech, pharmaceutical, and technology firms. What makes that important is the diversity of industries. The local economy isn't dependent on one single sector. Technology, healthcare, education, finance, and life sciences all play a role here. That stability is a big part of why companies keep expanding into the area and why so many people feel comfortable building long-term careers here. And now you're also seeing a lot of remote workers choosing Raleigh simply because of the lifestyle, which Brandy and I think is very important. They're not relocating for a specific job. They're choosing the region because it offers a balance that's getting harder to find in other cities. Compared to places like Austin, Nashville, or Miami, Raleigh still feels approachable. Housing is growing, but new communities continue being built across the suburbs, which keeps giving people options and helps the prices of housing to not skyrocket through the roof. If you're researching a move here, again, grab that free buyer and seller relocation guide in the description box. It breaks down many of the suburbs around Raleigh and the commute patterns people should understand before choosing anywhere to live. But the reason Raleigh really works for so many people might be the most underrated one: everyday livability. Not the highlight reel, not the weekend activities, just the rhythm of a normal week. Most people build their life within a 15 to 20 minute radius of where they're at. Work, school, groceries, the gym, a few favorite restaurants. Because the Triangle is built around multiple towns instead of one massive central core, life tends to spread out naturally. Cary has its own downtown energy. Wake Forest has its own small town feel, but it's not totally small. Clayton has quietly developed a really fun community with awesome breweries and a cool food scene and incredible areas to move like the North District. Wendell Falls feels like a modern master plan community where events, parks, and walking trails create a sense of neighborhood. Instead of everything stacking on top of itself like in some large metro areas where we were from, the Triangle spreads out in a way that feels manageable. And of course, traffic exists, but most people don't feel like they're fighting their environment every day just to get through a normal routine. That's the difference. It might not sound exciting, even though the traffic here is nothing compared to Los Angeles and New York. And that's exciting, honestly, to me, but once you live somewhere for a while, it becomes incredibly important. A city can be fun to visit, but exhausting to live in, like where we came from. Raleigh has found a balance that makes everyday life easier. Now, to be fair, Raleigh isn't perfect. No city is. Growth always brings trade-offs. Traffic has definitely increased over the past few years, especially along the major corridors like the I-40, I-540, and Highway 55. But again, compared to LA or New York, it's a walk in the park. Summers can get hot and humid, but we're in February going into March, and I'm wearing a polo shirt and it's 81 degrees and nice outside. But the humidity might surprise some people who are used to cooler climates. Housing prices have certainly risen as more people discover the area, but again, nothing like New York or California or Miami. But compared to many fast-growing cities around the country, Raleigh has handled growth relatively well. Infrastructure projects like the expansion of the I-540 outer loop continue to improve connectivity across the region. New schools, parks, and retail centers are being built alongside expanding neighborhoods, unlike California, where they say something's gonna happen and it's gonna be built, and it never happens. And because the growth is happening across multiple towns rather than one concentrated downtown area, it helps distribute the pressure a bit more evenly. For many people, the trade-offs feel reasonable. You're getting a strong job market, expanding food and entertainment options, proximity to beaches and mountains, and I'm telling you, the beaches have awesome sand here, and they're only a few hours away, and neighborhoods that still feel livable. That balance is a big reason people move here and often end up staying. And now, if you made it this far, you're probably not just watching out of curiosity. You might be comparing cities, and you're trying to figure out where life might actually work long term. And that's where Raleigh keeps surprising people. It may not always be the flashiest city on the list, but it consistently checks the boxes that matter once everyday life settles in. Strong job opportunities, growing suburbs, and food and entertainment scene that keeps expanding, and a region that still feels manageable even as it grows. Again, my family and I moved here 8 years ago from Southern California, sight unseen. So we know exactly what it feels like to try and figure out a move like this from the outside. If Raleigh or the Triangle area is on your radar, make sure you grab our free buyer and seller relocation guide in the description box. And if you have questions about neighborhoods, commuting, or what living here actually feels like, feel free to reach out anytime. Our number is right here on the screen. Call, text, or email anytime. We'd love to help you navigate the move and avoid some of the mistakes people make when relocating. And if you're still in research mode, no pressure. Do yourself a favor and subscribe to the channel and check out our sister channel, Life in Raleigh NC, where you can find hundreds of videos about suburbs, schools, food, safety ratings, and so much more. And before you go, I'm a little curious. What other North Carolina cities are you comparing Raleigh to right now? Let me know in that comment section, because I read every one of them and I use them on our next videos to elaborate to clients that are coming to live here. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you on the next video.